Yeah. Goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? 100 miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea?
Crap.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Crap makes all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really know.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, we deliver to military.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate. I heard there's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable.
You don't get no cell phone service.
No. Peace, brother. I mean, basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. You know, they're stocking all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this is a strategic location, which is really the new command center for the Illuminati and the United States government. Well, forget the United States government. This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. When they go underground, they can stay underground for quite some time. And this is stocked with food, water, everything they need. It's an underground city. So this is the north entrance, and we're going to go see if we can do some more digging.
This information originates from the following website: http://somethingblue.hubpages.com. Titled Nibiru Planet X, January the 13th, 2013. Extreme weather reveals Earth's wobble and the polar shift. From huge bushfires in Australia that are so big that flames can be seen from space, and the rain in Antarctic, to the worst winter Siberia has experienced in 100 years. These extreme weather events are the telltale sign the Earth's wobble has increased and the pole shift is moving into high gear. I will explore the many extreme weather events, why they are happening, and how mankind can prepare themselves for them. All coastal areas of the world are now experiencing what the mainstream media MSM is calling extreme tidal surges, but is really nothing more than ocean water being sloshed to and fro from the increase in the Earth's wobble. As this increases, we will see more and more shipping accidents, large tidal surges and coastal flooding. Already 75% of 33 major river deltas in the world are experiencing flooding conditions that will only worsen as the pole shift continues. Before I continue, let's look at some of the major extreme weather events that have made the news in the last month, and contemplate these events in relation to the increase in the Earth's wobble and the ongoing polar shift. In an effort to continue to confuse the public, many of the extreme temperatures in the world are now being reported in Celsius. To make the conversion, simply multiply the Celsius temperature by 1.8 and add 32. This will give you the temperature in Fahrenheit. Remember that due to the increase in the Earth's wobble from the magnetic forces of Nibiru Planet X, many regions of the globe that don't normally see sunshine at this time of the year are, and vice versa. This increase in the daily wobble of the Earth is what is causing the extreme weather and unusual tides. It is also making our seasons seem to run together and is causing confusion in plants and animals. In Russia, during the last weeks of 2012, temperatures plunged to -50 Celsius or 122 degrees below zero in Siberia. Over 50 people were killed and over 500 were hospitalized throughout Russia, according to a recent article. The country has not witnessed such a long cold spell since 1938. Meteorologists said with temperatures 10 to 15 degrees lower than the seasonal norm all over Russia. Meanwhile, on the other side of the planet, Australians are experiencing the hottest summer since temperatures began being recorded over a century ago. The average national temperature on Monday the 7th of January 2013 was above 104, and the record for consecutive days above 102 was shattered between January the 2nd to the 9th, 2013. 7 days. These unbearable hot days have been creating dangerously large bushfires throughout the country, some so large the flames can be seen from space. In nearby Samoa, the capital Apia has experienced the largest tidal surge in their recorded history. That, coupled with flooding and damage from tropical cyclone Evan, has knocked out power to most of the country. This extreme weather event occurred during the week of December the 8th through to the 15th of 2012. In another ocean, the Atlantic, on the other side of the world, Scotland was experiencing some of the worst tidal surges they have experienced in over 100 years. On December the 15th, 2012, sea walls that have withstood storms for over 150 years were washed away by enormous waves. According to Jerry Hughes, chairman of the North Berwick Harbour Association, the wind strength wasn't all that high, but the sea was absolutely beyond understanding. In the harbour you have a 40-foot sea container that was washed away approximately 200 metres, took away some fencing and went straight into the harbour. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, a soaring heat wave has crippled the country as temperatures rose above 110 degrees in the last week of December 2012. This heat wave shut down airports in Santos Dumont and Rio, leaving many buildings without air conditioning. Also, during the week of December 8th to the 15th, king tides swamped the coast of California from San Francisco south to Huntington Beach and Newport Bay. According to many sources, king tides occur from unusual alignments of the sun and moon, and yet the king tide explanation was only used in America. You don't normally think of snowstorms when you think of the Middle East, but just last week a powerful snowstorm blanketed Jerusalem, parts of Jordan and Lebanon and Turkey with as much as half a foot of snow after many days of freezing rain. These and other extreme weather events are being heralded as once in a lifetime 100-year phenomena, and yet they seem to be happening fairly regularly around the globe. Perhaps we need to redefine what a 100-year storm actually is. Earth's wobble. The fact that the Earth's wobble has increased is abundantly clear when viewing the extreme weather using critical thinking. You cannot have warm spring-like temperatures in Europe and sub-zero Arctic temperatures in Russia at the same time without the Earth being tilted back and forth. What is happening is that the Earth is being tilted in such a way that Siberia is getting less sunlight as it is tilted towards the North Pole. And when the wobble comes back, then Europe is moved closer to the equator and gets more sunlight. We on the planet don't feel this wobble, but if we use this critical thinking and pay attention, we will recognize the signs of this phenomenon. Many people have noticed that the sun and moon both seem to be out of place, but what is happening is that the Earth is being moved, tilted back and forth, and so it looks as if the moon and sun are moving when they aren't, the Earth is. Since the MSM has failed to mention this, forbidden is a better word, the public believes that the tidal surges and extreme weathers from the Earth are being tilted back and forth is being caused by a wide variety of explanations, none of which are accurate. The Pacific Ocean and the land masses around it are receiving more sunlight, as that part of our planet is now receiving the most sun due to the increased wobble. There will be 3 warning signs that the pole shift is nearing. 1. A fine red dust will begin to show up in cloud formation on the surface of rivers and lakes and ocean tides. This red dust is from the gaseous cloud that surrounds Nibiru. As the planet nears, it will find its way into Earth's atmosphere. The Earth will begin to moan and groan from tectonic plate movement. The scale is movement on a grand scale. The vibrating Earth's mantle will be transmitting through bodies of water and the ground, is to create an unmistakable moaning and groaning and trumpeting. The time of the day will seem skewed or off. Night will still be prevalent, even though the sky should be showing signs of daybreak. Evenings will last longer than they should, with our sun taking forever to set. By creating a wide variety of explanations for rising tidal surges, red dust clouds and extreme weather, the powers that be hope to keep the average man from recognizing the Earth's wobble, and then of course realizing the true reason for the increase in extreme weather, tectonic plate movement and volcanic activity worldwide. Of course, when these tidal surges and flood waters no longer dissipate and drain away as expected, then more and more people will begin to question these events. For the most part, the Earth's wobble has been cleverly explained away, using a host of reasonable excuses that the common man cannot prove one way or the other.
goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? 100 miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea?
Crap.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Crap makes all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really know.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, we deliver to military.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate, I heard there's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable.
You don't get no cell phone service.
No. Yeah. Peace, brother. I mean, basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military